Okay, so now for some computer geek stuff. And I guess what I like to do when I start a project is I like to create a few folders. And so what I've done here is I've created a build folder for the machine, all the parts that we're going to be adding onto it, like the way covers and whatever else. And we will save all of those files as single objects into our machine folder. And what this will do is we'll turn them all into STL files, and those we will make our simulation machine for our CNC software, whichever we decide to do. We could use Mastercam or CamWorks or EdgeCam. We have GibbsCam, so we have a few different options we can choose from. But let's get out of that. And so here is my build folder. And what I like to do is I like to create a few folders inside of it where all my 3D prints go. And then just a series of folders of all the different parts. The assemblies that I've made, the base parts. So in here we have folders for all of our 3D parts. We use 3MF files. That's what I like to use. It seems to be a pretty good file to use for 3D printing. We have our way covers. We have all our parts here that are all ready to print. And we also made a collet block for all our collets. And so then I have a few folders here. I've created some probing routines, and those are going to be for when we finally get the machine running, so we can find our part 0, our tool heights, all of that. And I'll get into how to build those in later videos. And then we have information. So any information that I gather, like for the drivers that I'm using, the motors that I'm using, any information that I need, I'm just going to build little files here, notes, and so that way there I just have reference. So I don't have to go searching the internet or whatever I have to do over and over and over, because that gets a nuisance. Another thing that you could do is create just one notepad and call it the copy and paste board, which if you look up here, I have one of those. And we could actually drag that right down into here and just have that file there. And this is, as you're going along, you could grab stuff off the internet that you like the information on, just copy and paste right to here. And it works well. I'll put that back. Alright, so now let's get into our design. And we'll jump into SolidWorks here. And okay. So we're just going to basically just start to suppress a bunch of stuff here. And we'll get into everything after as we go along. And we'll get rid of the bed too. Okay, so to start off with, what I did was I created just a base. And this here, you want to keep as light as possible. And the reason for that is, once you build your simulation machine, your software isn't going to like the fact that you have every single screw in this and every little tiny nuance of the machine, because it's going to process not only this machine, but your program and how the machine moves. So the lighter you keep your models, on like your base and your Gantt tree and all of that, the better off you're going to be. And generally you keep stuff like coolant lines and all of that as just little tiny accessory parts. And generally I don't really add that stuff unless I'm going to have basically potential of crashing into something. And mainly that's just in 5-axis where I will do that. But so we basically what we've done is we've added some holes here, and I plan on using these holes to attach stuff to. So that's why they're there in this instance. Right here, this is where the upright goes, and that's where the gantry bolts on to the machine when you buy it. And so we don't have that built yet because we're not working on it, and we don't need to see that yet. it's better just to create less confusion and just build it piece by piece. And it'll just be better for you that way. That way you're not all confused with trying to suppress stuff. And so next I created the bed of the machine. What I've done with the bed of the machine is underneath I created a few blocks, and these are just simulating the rails, the little carriages that go on the rails. This would be your linear rail here, but we kept it light and simple. And so just what this does is this, I put constraints on it, so it can't go any further than here. So that is our travel. And I measured the travel on the machine, and I duplicated it here so we know exactly how far stuff will go. And you'll notice on the table I didn't put all the screw holes in because we don't really need them yet. We only need as much as we need to build with for now. So now with that being done, now we'll start to unsuppress some stuff here. And so what we did was we need a way to hold this this way system. And so we created a long bracket here, and it lines up with the screws, so we can just bolt it in there. On the other side, we have a little place, and a little small ball bearing is going to be inserted in here. And that's what the whole track system is going to run off of. And we will we'll just start to unsuppress everything here. So now here's the other side, and so now we have our two things that our ways can go off of. And then we also have a front base. Let's see. Okay, well, let's have to go look for that part, shall we? Okay. All right, actually, I didn't want to have to do this, but so we will. And was that the left front base? I do believe. So we'll open that. And there we go. So it's just kind of silly that it worked out that way, but so be it. And so now we have just a full capture here. And so this is going to basically have everything. Now we built the cover for it, and that will keep all the chips out from down below. And then under here I have a few holes, and these are going to be for feet, and they'll help support this, because other than that, if you look, this here would be hanging in midair. But we do want some clearance here, because I have ideas for future things that I would like to do. So I do want a little clearance there. Now we'll do our way covers. We'll unsuppress those. And now you'll notice that what I got here is basically, this would be closed, and so that's how much compression there is going to be. And now I can go into our other assembly, and we'll open this up real quick. So this here is on constraints as well. So if we expand it, and then we open up our other solid, it'll say things have changed, and yes they have. We'll accept that. So now when this thing is fully extended down to its other range, if you notice, we're not going to come anywhere close to this upright with our piece here. So that will work out well. And then there again, this bearing follows in the track, and this bearing will follow in this track. So now when this is closed, the bearing will hit there, and then the rest will be able to compress. Now I want to show you something about these 3D printed parts here. My 3D printer isn't big enough, so obviously I had to create them in 2 pieces. And there are some things that we have to keep in mind with these 2 parts here. And I will show you what they are right now. Get a good face visual here. Oh, let me just do that again because I messed up. Okay, on this one here, I'm going to be changing these, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a visual here. I have things suppressed so that these features aren't in. But if you notice on this part here, we have our clearance between our 2, and that's all fine. The only problem with this is you 3D print this, sometimes plastic can expand a bit, and we really, that causes binding issues when you go to put these 2 pieces together. You'll have a little gap in here. And the reason being is because there's no room for this corner to go. So what we've done is we created a little draft angle here. And we have a place for our corner to go. So when these are 3D printed, once we press these together, there's plenty of clearance here so that everything will seat very nicely in there. And so that's what you kind of want to keep in mind when you design stuff, is clearances. And you'll get to understand later on once you start 3D printing stuff. And for the people who already 3D print, you probably know this already. So that is basically what we are going to start with. And so that will be our way cover for the front side. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll get these ready for the 3D printer. And once these prints are all done, they'll take quite a bit to actually process all of these through, because we have to build each of these components. And the other thing about it is once you do an assembly drawing, and we'll just move this table forward here. The other thing that you can check here is once we get the right, here we go. So you can make sure that all of your screw holes line up for your plates, which is a nice thing, because there's nothing worse than, writing something down on paper and you have all these little scrap things going around, and then you make something and nothing lines up. So you don't have to use SolidWorks. There's other options out there. FreeCAD will do this exact same thing. You can do assembly models, and it's free. SolidWorks comes with a pretty hefty cost, but since I do this for a living, I absorb that cost. So, and there again. Okay, so basically we're going to jump out and we'll show you some parts here in a bit. So I guess before we go, for those interested on how you make a 3MF file, I'll take you through that right now. So if this was your part, when you went to save your part file, basically you would just do a save as. And then when your menu comes up, it'll say save as file type. So there's a whole bunch here that you can save to. As I said, I generally use the 3MF file, and that seems to work for me pretty well. I know you can use the other files that are normally associated with 3D printing, but this is my choice. Okay. So that is pretty much how you go about doing that. So right now what we're going to do is we are going to go into Bamboo Studio and we're going to load up some parts to print. So this is Bamboo Studio. It's pretty basic. It's your general 3D printing software for those who haven't seen it before, but they all are pretty much similar to this. So I'm just going to go up to File, and I'll import in the files that I want. And as we see, these are all my 3MF files. And we don't want the base, we want the covers. So we'll do this one, and then we'll hold down the Shift key, and then we'll be able to just bring them in all at the same time. So there we go. Here are our parts. Fortunately here, we got 3 of them. So we're going to delete one of them. And these are the parts we're going to run right here. So then all we have to do from here is just come up to here, slice them, and send them to the printer. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, we'll see you guys at the printer. So I'll bring you up to the printer I use. This is a printer. It's a Bamboo PS1. I printed a lot of stuff with this printer. And if you're going to do design work and start making assemblies of things, a 3D printer is just the way to go, because you can actually print something within a few minutes or a few hours, and you can assemble it all, and you can see how it's going to work before you even make it. And so it's really nice. And this printer here is really easy to use. The Bamboo Labs Studio that comes with you just download it from the internet, and you're able to basically slice all your prints, and then you print them out on here. It's much easier to use than the first printer that I started with, which was Anycubic i3 Mega. This here, in order to print stuff in multiple colors, you had to put stops in, you had to know programming, and it was just a real pain trying to get stuff to have multicolors, or even stick to the print bed was often a challenge. As you can see here, I have masking tape trying to get parts to stick, and that didn't always work. So I graduated to this one, and I'm so happy with this printer. It works very well. And so now we're about to print some of our first parts here. I won't take you through all the printing process, but I just wanted to kind of show you what I had going on. So it's been about 12 hours. Seems like forever, but finally get to collect our prints. Okay, and here they are. It's going to be the top bellows there, the covers. 1 and 2. Okay, so I guess this will be, I won't take you through all the printing, but we have several hours left to go on these. Alrighty, well, on to the next. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave the video off here. We're starting to get our parts off now, and all our holes line up, so we should be good there. Everything's got a good overhang on it, so. All right, so I thank you guys for watching, and we will see you all next week when we get all the rest of these parts run off and I get it assembled, and then we'll see how it runs. Alrighty, thank you all for watching. All right, have a good one. Bye.